what you may not know is that I began suffering from migraines. I suffered as a kid, and I don't want to say suffer. I had them. I dealt with them. I don't know how you want to pronounce it, but and as a kid, I would miss school. And in high school, I specifically remember, I'd be home from school with cramping and just horrible migraines. And at that point, I was put on medications, and they worked. And as I went through puberty and all that, it got better and it went away. And I went to Marquette, and I was there for undergrad and grad school. I was in their doctorate of physical therapy program, and I remember in probably my grad school and maybe once or twice in residency. So I did a residency for neurologic physical therapy. Maybe once or twice of each of those years, grad school and residency, having to call into work or not making it to a class or something like that because of migraines. Well, fast forward, married, kids, all that, and after my third son, Christine, you make me laugh. After my third child, which is my son Patrick, who is now 3, he was 9 months old, and I began. I'm at home. I'm thinking I have like a flu bug, a stomach bug, something like that. It's June, and as I'm laying on the couch, I start to feel this tingling sensation in my face, in the left side of my face. And then it kind of travels into my arm, and it didn't go away. And I start thinking, oh my gosh, I'm having a stroke. And so I actually drove myself, which probably wasn't the smartest thing to do, especially if I thought I was having a stroke. But I drove myself to an immediate care, and they did a CT scan, and they ruled out stroke. But they said, they asked me if I ever had suffered from migraines. And I said, actually I have. They said, so this is just a complex migraine. Okay, totally fine. So about 2 months later, it's August, and I start kind of feeling the same thing. And at first it didn't trigger or make me think, oh, I'm having a migraine, because I hadn't had them in so long. And then as it progressed, I was like, oh my gosh, it's happening again. And sure enough, it was, and it lasted for days, and it was awful. And so at that point, I saw a neurologist, and August through December, they just progressively worsened, meaning that I was getting them more frequently. And end of December going into January of 2019, I was actually put on a steroid pack to try and break a cycle, because I had a migraine nearly every day for almost 2 straight weeks. So they gave me a steroid pack, and it broke the cycle. And then we started talking about other meds. And so the abortives weren't working, so they gave me a new abortive. We had talked about certain preventives. One was going to make me like look at a window and say door, or look at it was just, I was like, I can't do that with work. Patients might actually think I'm crazy. So, my choices were kind of limited because of all that. But so, I ended up doing what's called it's called a Jovi, and it was an injectable medication. So I would inject myself every month to try and decrease the number of my overall days of migraine, because at that point I was averaging about 15 migraine days a month. Now I'm working full time. I have 3 small kids at home, marriage, mom, all of that, right? So 15 days a month of migraines doesn't work for me. So fast forward to summer. I do that for a full year. We're getting into COVID and quarantine and all that. And I'm just like, I can't keep doing this injection. And I started getting some weird lab work. And I was having muscle breakdown from the injection. At that point, I'd also probably tried 5, 6, 7 abortives, none of which were working. The Ajovy was supposed to be the preventive. That really wasn't working. Anytime a migraine would come on, no matter what I did, it was days. It was days of migraine. You want, this traditional like dark room, curled in a ball, can't function days. And then so I I wanted to come off the injection. So we came off the injection. My lab work got better. But at that point, my neurologist had recommended that I try, I get my medical card, my medical marijuana card. And, you know, there's been some research to show that CBD and with the THC has been beneficial. So I was like, I'll try anything. You tell me, I'm going to try it. And throughout all of this, also, I should throw in there that I've been suffering from postoperative nerve pain. That's a whole nother story. But I needed something, right? And so I tried a few different products from the dispensary, and nothing would stop my migraine. That's my biggest thing, guys. Nothing would stop it. It might help a little bit, but I always had it, and I was always debilitated from it, and it just doesn't work for me as a mom to feel that way, and a business owner, and just everything else. So let's fast forward to November, right? So November, my cousin reaches out to me and says, hey, I saw that you're taking CBD for migraines. I have a new product, and I'm wondering if you would take a look at it. And I was so skeptical. I was like, yeah, okay, yeah, I've tried everything, but sure, yeah, you know. And Lauren knows, and she'll attest to it. I was so skeptical because at that point you're so worn down. You know, you've tried so many things and it's not working. You're just like, ugh, I'm tired, right? So she sends me some videos, and I can get behind the science of it. So I was like, all right. I had done research on CBD, working with patients with neurologic disease. You know, medical marijuana and CBD was becoming a hot topic, and I was doing a lot of research on it because my patients were asking me about it, and I want to be able to talk to them and answer their questions. I don't want to just be able to be like, I don't know. And I had some, you know, hesitation just in CBD in general because I didn't understand it, though. Okay, so the science behind it made sense. It was a whole flower fluid, different than an oil. Water soluble, whole nine yards. So she sends a sample, and I get it, and she sends me a video, and she's like, you have to watch the video before you take the sample because the vial's kind of weird. I never watched it. Okay, now it's the Saturday after Thanksgiving, and I am at a family event, and I have my daughter, and her and I have to do some things after the event, and I can feel the migraine coming on. And I was like, oh, I don't have time for this today. So I remember getting in the car, and I pulled out my sample, and I watched the quick video. It was real quick. It was literally a minute. And I watched the quick video, and I take 2 drops, and I put it on my tongue. 30 minutes later, everything is gone. All neuro symptoms, all the tingling in my face, everything in my arm, gone. I texted my cousin. I'm like, Laura, is this for real? Like, is this honestly? I mean, and she goes, Liz, I'm telling you, I have never seen anything like this. I did my research into it. Like, it's for real. And I was like, okay, I just don't know. So, gone the rest. I'm waiting all day, right? Every hour. I'm like, this has got to come back. It's got to come back. This can't be this good. So, next day, it's gone the whole day. Next day, I go to church. I start feeling it at church. I get home. I take the 2 drops again. Gone all day. All day gone. Monday, same thing. Never once during that first... Okay, I'm back. Okay, so never once did I get a full-blown migraine during those 3 days. So I'm like, give me the link. I'm in. Like, nothing else has worked. I am in 100%. I'm going to try it. So I get the link, and I purchase the whole flower fluid. And I started taking it regularly. Well, I wasn't every day because I was bad about that. I should have, but I wasn't. I was kind of just taking it. If I started to feel it come on, I would take it. It would stop it. Stopped it dead in its tracks. So then what I didn't realize, though, like, I knew it was stopping them when they started, okay? But what I didn't realize is that it was actually decreasing them overall. So I am a crazy type A. I have a Word document that tracks my migraines. And then over the summer in June, I bought a migraine app. And so I was tracking my potential triggers, the weather, pressure variation, you name it, I was tracking it. Ovulation cycles, all of it. And I got a new phone in December. And all of a sudden it's January, and I kind of got a bigger headache than I had. And I went to sign into my migraine app and I went to track it and realized I hadn't signed in. I hadn't signed in almost 2 months because I hadn't had a migraine or a headache significant enough to even trigger my thought to track it. And guys, it's March. I still, to this day, since that Saturday after Thanksgiving, I have not suffered from a migraine at all.